Hello, I'm Doug Locke and I'm here with Vicki Bowles again, and today we're going to be talking about how to be compliant with data protection law as an organisation. So Vicki, what does compliance look like for an organisation?
Compliance essentially means that you need to understand what your legal obligations are. That's the fundamental and the sort of really key element. So once you're there, that's a really good foundation. The other two elements that you really need for data protection is you need to be able to demonstrate compliance. So it's actually not just enough that you are compliant, you have to be able to demonstrate it. And we'll talk you through how you do that a bit later. And you also have to foster a culture of compliance, and the ICO is very keen on seeing that.
And what would you suggest as being the first thing that an organisation does in order to get compliant?
The first thing that I would suggest you do is what we call a data protection audit. And you probably did one back in 2016 or 2018 when the GDPR was coming into force. But I suggest do it again because it's a long time and things have moved on. And essentially all you need to do is bottom out exactly what personal data do you have, who is it about, why do you have it, and that usually gets you asking questions about actually do we need to collect this, should we not collect this, actually we could do with something else instead or whatever, and that's really helpful for your business. So what are you collecting, why are you collecting it, and then look at things like actually where is it, and I'm talking is it in a paper document in a filing cabinet, is it on a cloud server, and if it is in the cloud and it's on a server somewhere, actually physically where is that server? Because that's an important question most people don't know the answer to. So all those sorts of questions. Who are you sharing it with? Who has access to it? And how secure is it? And once you've done that piece of work, everything else becomes so much easier.
You mentioned a culture of compliance. How do you go about developing a culture of compliance within an organisation?
Yeah, that's quite a tricky question, and it's all very well for me sitting here on the sofa saying yes, go away and foster a culture, but it's quite difficult to actually do. One of the first things I suggest you would do is have some really clear guidance for your staff. So your staff or your volunteers or whoever it is working in your business actually understand not just the law, but actually how it applies to them in their day-to-day business. And once you've got that sort of level of understanding and you've got the policies and procedures to back it up so you can demonstrate that you've got that understanding, we also recommend staff training, and again it needs to be bespoke to your staff. General training is great and it has its place, but it doesn't help when someone's on the phone to a customer who's complaining about their use of data. They need to know what they need to say and how they deal with that. And lead by example as well. So make sure that the senior members of your organisation take it seriously, and I hate the term, but buy into it, and actually talk to people about data protection and make it clear that it is important and that everybody is responsible.
Thanks, Vicki. And what else would an organisation need to consider?
Well, as you might imagine, Doug, there are lots of things to consider, but some of the key things, other things that I would be thinking about would be security, so making sure that you've got the right measures in place to protect the data. I would be thinking about individual rights, so individuals have a number of rights and they can exercise them, and if they do, are you ready to respond? How well can you search for the information, etc. You also need to think about data sharing, so who has access to your data, who are you giving it to on a regular basis, and have you got the right agreements in place? And also possibly registration with the ICO. If you're not already registered, are you exempt or do you actually need to pay that fee? We have lots of information on our website about all the various elements that I've discussed today, and on the website you'll also find the contact details of our excellent data protection team, so do feel free to get in touch with any of us if you've got any questions.
Super, thank you, Vicki. And I think we're going to be doing another video soon on policies and documents, but
yes.
For now, Vicki, thank you very much.